You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stevencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our first host call of the weekend. Great to have you with me here today. Looking forward to getting into our calls, as always, and they do come in from literally all over the world. So we're excited that we're able to really share some of our experience, some of the things that we've seen work in a clinical practice, which means this is helping real people in the real world get real results. And that's honestly what we're all about. We care about the research. We read the research. But what we care about the most is helping people resolve health issues, weight issues, aging issues that they've been dealing with for some time. So that's what we're bringing you today. Really like the great place to get started, that second opinion. What you might be missing is what we want to share with people on these weekend host calls. If they're helpful, I would love for you to share that information, obviously, with others. The more reviews you leave on iTunes and other podcast players, the better. And again, we appreciate your support. So we're going to get right into our first question of the day. And the reason is that we have a lot of questions. These ones that we're getting to now from the beginning of December. So that's about, 3 months old now. Again, the questions never change. So I'll get the same type of questions 5 years from now. And I saw the same questions 20 years ago. So these are people and their symptoms and their issues that and imbalances within the body that go wrong in a very systematic function that will continue to go wrong in the future unless we know the why. So my goal is to give you the why on these host calls, and the questions are answered in the order they come in. I can typically get to somewhere between 6 to 10 questions every Saturday and 6 to 10 questions every Sunday. So hopefully this is helpful. Let's get it right into that first question from Luke. Luke is asking, Dear Dr. Cabral, thank you so much for your advice you share. My wife and I really enjoy your podcast and benefit greatly from doing your 21-day detox and applying many of your suggestions in our life. I'm writing to you because my mother-in-law has just been diagnosed with Huntington's disease. Her symptoms are not severe, but some cognitive issues, OCD tendencies, and she's physically can't stay still. She lives by herself and struggles to maintain motivation and keep a healthy diet. Can you please let me know what results your clinics have been able to achieve? Would like to see realistic expectations. Could you please let us know what tests you'd recommend? Thank you so much in advance. All right, so Luke and everyone listening to the show, head on over right now to stevencabral.com/podcasts. And what I want you to do is type in your keyword. Now, Candida is too general of a keyword. But I've done many shows on that, so you can absolutely find that. But something like Huntington's, right? So check this out. We're going to type in Huntington, and we're going to see what show I've already answered that question on. It was episode 982. So what I'd like you to do is head on over, Luke, to episode 982. Go to stevencabral.com/982. And that will give you all the information you need. It very well may have come out after you ask your question, but that is the place you're going to find your answer for Huntington's disease. With anyone with a diagnosed disease state, we do recommend the Big 5 plus the stool test. If you're not able to run those, I do recommend the starter kit, which is the organic acids test and hair tissue mineral analysis, at least as a great starting point, and we can make recommendations from there. So check out that podcast. Check out the starter kit or the Big 5 plus the stool. Okay, Denise is up next. Hello, I've recently done adrenal hormone lab testing and want to get some advice on what products I can get from the online store to help balance my hormones. I have done fertility treatments for the last 3 years and has impacted my body negatively. I used to have high testosterone, and now I have low testosterone, low estrogen, and low progesterone. I also have high luteinizing hormone levels. Cortisol levels on adrenal tests were also high. Please advise. Thank you. Okay, so ethically, unless I have your lab test in front of me, I don't feel comfortable giving someone a personalized wellness protocol. And it's also what we do in our practice. So for personalized wellness protocols, like exactly what's for you, people order the lab tests from equilibriumnutrition.com. I read all of the lab tests. My health coaches and I put together a plan for you, and then you get that plan on your call. So, I can't give you those exact recommendations. It's not that I don't want to, but I honestly I don't know what high means, and I don't know what low means because I don't have your lab test in front of me. So, for someone in this condition, I'd have to look at your DHEA levels as well. If you have low estrogen and you have low testosterone and you have low progesterone, well, then I can use some DHEA. But it also depends on how old are you. Are you 21? Because that's different than if you're 38. If you're 38, I'll probably use some DHEA. Not forever, but just to give the body an overall boost. But I'll absolutely be using the Adrenal Soothe, probably 1 at lunch and 2 at dinner. Again, I can't give you exact recommendations. And I'll most likely be using the Deep Sleep Protocol at night before bed to turn off that cortisol, and I might use full spectrum magnesium at dinner. This is in addition to the overall level 2 or level 3 foundational protocol. So that's what I would do. I know it was a mouthful, but you can obviously rewind. You can look at those. You can see if it works for you. But in general, if you want my exact recommendations, they come included with any lab test purchase from equilibriumnutrition.com. It's not that I don't want to help people with exact personalized wellness recommendations, but keep in mind that I don't have your lab test in front of me, and we can't simply have 20,000 people email in their lab results and then us provide the complimentary personalized wellness protocols. I hope you understand that. That's simply not humanly possible. Judy's up next. Hello. First, thank you for all you do. It's been very helpful for me personally. My health practitioner uses Quest Labs for my blood and urine tests. Recently, Quest informed me that I can now order through Quest Direct. Can you please advise if this is a recommended lab? Thank you in advance. So I have no problem with using Quest for blood work. I don't use them for urine. Urine, I don't mind them doing a specific gravity test. I don't mind them with others. I simply, again, in my opinion, I use the best of the best. That's what we do. So Quest Labs, you can check out our podcast on what to ask your doctor to run for blood work. And you can have those run right through Quest Labs, and I think that would be great. So Judy, I hope that answers your question. And again, for the other labs, I give you the exact lab they are, and all of those are posted right at equilibriumnutrition.com. If you want to run them through your local practitioner, you're more than welcome to. Our job is to get you the information and to give you the ability to purchase those anywhere, almost literally in the world, 19 different countries. People that are, really listening to the podcast, to be able to do that through equilibriumnutrition.com. But let's say you don't want to purchase from there. Totally fine. I still give you the information, and then you can do it locally with the practitioner as well. All right, Sherry is up next, and she's asking, hello. I know Dr. Cabral says supplements should be used as you need them and not on a continuous basis. Are the vitamin C and collagen considered supplements, or can they be taken daily, just like the all-in-one shake and greens powder? So I know that I talk fast, and I know that I talk a lot, and it can be misconstrued. I actually believe that supplements should be taken daily. I haven't said that. And I don't want me to be referred to as someone that says you should not take supplements daily. I take supplements daily. I've been taking them now for, well over 20 years. What did I say? Well, I don't believe in high-dose nutritional supplements for a long-term period of time. So that's what I said. So meaning like you might use 5 grams or 10 grams of vitamin C when you have a cold or flu or whatever, but you're not going to use that every day. So that's what I'm talking about. So I use my full spectrum vitamin C every day. I take 2 capsules every day. What is that? Well, it's 1 gram of vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, right? I use what's called the daily foundational protocol, level 3, every day. And in addition to that, I take additional B vitamins. I'll put in the healthy gut support sometimes. I'll use collagen support, the advanced collagen support. So I use them every day, like literally every single day. So hopefully that clears it up. But what I don't recommend is you're not going to do the parasite protocol for more than a couple months. You're not going to do the candida protocol for more than 12 weeks. You're not going to do the heavy metal protocol for longer than 6 weeks. So there's a finite period of time if it's a higher dose protocol that has an end result. Get rid of candida, get rid of SIBO, get rid of parasites, get rid of heavy metals. Those all have a finite period of time. So you stop those, but you always maintain with your base level of vitamins, minerals, etc. And that's simply, and I talked about that yesterday on the podcast, episode 1113, and that's because the soil contains anywhere from 13% to 60% less vitamins and minerals. So, and again, the vitamins are made through the bacteria, and there's less bacteria in the soil, even organic. So just keep that in mind. That's why I recommend a base of those, but not high-dose supplements for an extended period of time. Okay, Kara is up next. I've been told by my gastroenterologist during a recent colonoscopy exam that my colon is very twisty, and that is why I experienced constipation. I've never had constipation growing up, and only recently have I had constipation in the past years. So how did my colon get twisted all of a sudden? Was it always that way? And why didn't I experience constipation my whole life? I'm a lean 50-year-old female who exercises almost every day. I had methane-dominant SIBO in the past and still do low FODMAP diet. I eat plenty of vegetables daily and do a celery juice every morning. What other suggestions do you have? And will any untwist my colon and cause it to further get twisted in the first place? Thank you. Love the podcast. And I'm a licensed nutritionist myself. All right, Kara, great question. So I can't give you the exact reason why your colon began to get a little twisted, but I do teach that in level 2 of the integrative health practitioner. And I show what a twisted colon or more of a spastic colon looks like. It can happen from stress. It can happen from bacterial overgrowth. So if you did have SIBO, then for sure that can partially cause it. It can happen from, bacterial imbalance, from stress for the most part. So let's go with those for right now. So what you will do is you'll run an organic acids test and stool test. You'll see if you still have bacterial overgrowth or candida overgrowth. If you do, you will do the candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. Then you will start to transition off of the FODMAP diet. You'll add more good prebiotics only after you've wiped out the bad bacteria and yeast first, and you'll start to repopulate that colon. You'll get to a more peristaltic normal movement, which will allow for better flow through the colon, better movement, better wave-like structures through the colon called intersuccession, and that will help with the twisted colon. All of this will be done slowly, and it sounds like you're getting enough veggies, but we want plenty of veggies and fiber. You can use our advanced fiber support. That will help. Even the constipation support will help in general with that. So hopefully that helps at least get you moving in the right direction. Jennifer's up next. Jennifer has a mega question. It's more than a page long, single-spaced on a Word document. I'm just joking around with you, Jennifer. So what I'm going to do is give you the gist. I can't read a question this long on the podcast because it would take up half our podcast. Jennifer says, I don't know where to begin. I listen to your podcast from time to time, and I've gotten your book, The Rain Barrel Effect. I was born with lots of musculoskeletal abnormalities, hip dysplasia, cleft palate. My joints are messed up. I have a barrel chest, scoliosis. I have vision-based issues. I have loss of hearing. I've been to probably 20, 30 doctors over the last 2.5 years. Hearing loss fluctuates. I have vertigo and tinnitus. All right, mainly vertigo and tinnitus. So we have some dizziness. We have some ringing in the ears, which is what tinnitus is. Gone to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. When I do my research, it might be Addison's or something else. Going to a rheumatologist, some joint pain. Get some water retention. Deep in my heart, I know I will figure this out. Okay, so to be honest, when there's this many things wrong, I think we both know that I'm not going to be able to give you that silver bullet answer over a podcast, right? But my job is to give you that first place to get started. In a case like this, I don't recommend just doing a lab online, right? What I recommend for a deeply involved case that there's going to be a lot of back and forth is to either become a private wellness client of our practice, and you can simply, this is just totally up to you. You would do support@StephenCabral.com and just say, I'm interested in becoming a private wellness client. Or you find someone local, and I do recommend that as well. You find a level 2 integrative health practitioner. Our graduates don't come out until May of this year. But you can certainly find a truly integrative functional medicine doctor that will do the labs that we recommend. The hair tissue mineral analysis, the organic acids test, the stool test, running a IgG food sensitivity. And for you, what else would I recommend? Hair tissue, organic acids test, stool test, IgG food test. Sure, you could do the omega-3, but you could also just use omega-3 as well, and the thyroid adrenal hormone. And then we'll get your cortisol levels from there. So our job is to piece this together. So on the outside, we can see all your symptoms. But on the inside, we don't know your levels. We don't know your toxicities. We don't know your imbalances. As a practitioner, whether it's working with myself, one of my health coaches on my team, or someone local, we can't guess at this point. You've seen too many doctors. You've done too many outside conventional medicine labs. What we need to do is really get to the crux of what's going on inside of your body. Is it massive B vitamin deficiency? Is it massive magnesium-based deficiency? Is it a total depletion of sodium, really? Not total depletion, but a functional depletion of sodium because of many years of stress, right? So you basically ramped up those aldosterone levels. And because of that, you've just really depleted your levels of sodium. And that can lead to vertigo. That can lead to other things as well. Again, you can't just go by that. You can't use that as the answer because I don't know. And I'll always admit when I don't know. We would know if we ran the labs, and that is where exactly we would start. So Jennifer, I wish you the best. I completely agree that you will find your answer. Do not give up, and keep on pushing forward. Maureen is up next. Maureen is asking, I'm a 24-year-old female with GI issues due to chronic urinary tract infections and the consequential antibiotics taken for them. I'm working with a functional medicine doctor, did the organic acids test and stool test. We found bacterial overgrowth and candida overgrowth, no parasites, low vitamin C, inflammation. My question is, my hair has been falling out tremendously over the last couple months. I'm wondering, what do you think it may be caused from? My ferritin level is low. Do you think it's because of low iron, which is ferritin? Low ascorbic acid, gut issues, or all the above? It's very scary. I've lost at least 60% of my hair. I'm starting a protocol now to fix my gut and everything else, but would love your take on the hair loss ordeal. He's also having me take lactoferrin, which is bovine colostrum, to help the iron deficiency and gut issues. Do you think that will help? I listen to you daily, and thank you for all you do. Thanks in advance. All right, Maureen, happy to help. So here's the issue. Usually, the GI issues cause the urinary tract infections first because there's E. coli overgrowth. And then you take the antibiotics for the E. coli overgrowth in the bladder and the gut, which can actually move all the way up into the kidneys. And then the antibiotics further disrupt the gut microbiome, which can lead to even more E. coli overgrowth or Klebsiella overgrowth or Pseudomonas or anything, right? So you found out that you had SIBO and you have Candida overgrowth. I do hope that you're using a protocol like our Candida bacterial overgrowth protocol, because not all protocols are created the same. I used protocols for many years and they didn't work. And then I used some that did. And obviously we have a protocol now that we can show before and afters and it works. So make sure yours works. I don't think your hair loss is from low vitamin C. It might be from low iron, but I doubt that as well. I think it's most likely from your gut issues and your high levels of stress. It sounds like there's a lot of stress going on. And why wouldn't there be, right? You've got a lot of GI issues and you're losing your hair, and that's stressful. So I personally would work on stress at the same time you're working on your GI issues. I don't know if you should be using bovine colostrum because that could feed the bacterial overgrowth and yeast. So what I would typically do is we would use that after 6 to 8 weeks. We don't use colostrum in my practice. We haven't had a need for it. I'm not against it, but I would certainly wait at least 6 to 8 weeks, and only if you're not sensitive to it. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, remember, one of the best ways to work for that iron deficiency is to use a product like Iron Response, a food-based, iron-based product, in addition to your high iron-based foods. Improve your stomach acid so that you can break down either the meat or the dark leafy greens or other things that are high in iron for whatever you choose to eat. And then another thing is a lot of people are low on iron, not because they don't get enough iron, but because they have microscopic bleeding in their gut because of all the inflammation. So really, once you fix the gut, it can oftentimes, then your iron rebounds from there. Hopefully that helps, Maureen. Steph is up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, I was wondering what your take is on the keto diet. If so, how would I go about it? All right, so, and it says fellow New Englander. So Steph, I don't know if you've been a listener of the podcast because you would definitely have heard all of my take on the keto diet. I can't sum that up in 2 minutes. But the keto diet essentially is it's a medical-based diet. It can be used effectively in tumor-based growth, in type 2 diabetes, in gut-based issues for a short period of time. So do I believe in long-term keto-based diets? I do not. Do I believe it can be used in the short term? I do. And that is that. So, but again, I've given plenty of in-depth podcasts on that and the harm of using a long-term keto-based diet. Remember, anything that pushes your macros so far in one direction, please, remember, if you do not remember, if you're not a student of history, this is not picking on you, Maureen, at all. Sorry, Steph, at all. This is all of us. If you're not a student of history, then you're destined to repeat it. And oftentimes not the good stuff, right? So if we don't learn from all of the, remember, the thing is this, is every time We've gone almost zero carb. Keto's basically below 50 carbs a day. Or we've gone super high fat. It's always turned out to be wrong in the long run. It's because it's not a normal human diet. So anyway, I'll go on another rant and it will last for an entire show. I've done many of those. So just simply go back to stevencabral.com/podcasts and tune into previous episodes on low carb, on keto, on long fasting periods, all of that. All right, Nicholas is up next. Nicholas is asking, hi, Dr. Cabral. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. I've been listening to the podcast for a few months now, and they really got me into natural healing. I'm really interested in becoming part of your integrative health practitioner program, but I have a doubt. My father needs to have a dialysis every other day due to chronic renal damage provoked by years of high blood pressure. I'm trying for him to follow a protocol to attempt to reverse the damage, but the doctors say it's beyond repair. Is there anything to be done to help him recover? Or is this his permanent condition for the rest of his life? Thanks in advance. I hope you can help me with this. Okay. There are things called renal tubules or tubes inside the kidneys. And if there's renal damage or kidney damage by high blood pressure, but remember, you have a lot of those tubes in the kidneys. So we have to say is what provoked it? Are they truly damaged beyond repair? Or is there an ongoing inflammatory issue? Are there ongoing oxalate issues? Are there ongoing mineral imbalances? Is there ongoing leaky gut, which is allowing proteins to spill into the bloodstream, then having to be filtered by the kidneys, which oftentimes causes renal-based damage? So I don't know the answer to that. If you're joining IHP just to help your father reverse the high blood pressure, well, we can certainly help with the high blood pressure. But if you're doing it to help him with renal-based damage, that's not what the program's for. The program is to learn natural healing, to learn the de-stress protocol, how to help people heal with wellness, with weight loss, with anti-aging issues based on the de-stress protocol that I wrote about in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. So for you, I'd recommend, if you haven't read The Rain Barrel Effect first, do that. That's the place to start. If it speaks to you, if you want to learn 40 hours of video-based seminars and training that you can go at your own pace, then the Integrative Health Practitioner Level 1 is for you, because you'll get all that plus 100 hours of specific podcasts if you choose to listen to those. You don't have to. And if you want to then go into Level 2, then you'll learn about the lab testing. So that's what it's all about. Nicholas, I don't know if that answered your question, but we are not teaching to that level, like to work on specific diseases. We're teaching people, and we're teaching our integrative health practitioners to be the next generation of health coaches. Those people that can really help at a deeper level through diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest and repair, working on emotional-based balance, working on supplement protocols, and also working on that success mindset. So it's, to date, my favorite thing that I've ever done is create that program. I love the community that we've built. If it seems right for you, we allow 100 new people in per month. Our next opening, I believe, is March 4th. We typically sell out of all of our openings within about 24 to 72 hours. It just depends on the interest that month. And then we close. We take care of our new 100 members. We make sure that they're set up. We get them in our private Integrative Health Practitioner Facebook group. We answer their questions. They move through the modules. It's a great community. Absolutely love it. Again, if it's right for you, then great. If you haven't read The Rain Barrel Effect, read The Rain Barrel Effect first. It will give you a great intro. Thank you, everyone that wrote in today. Great questions. I hope I was able to help. If I wasn't, my recommendation is, if you have follow-ups, to ask those at CabralSupportGroup.com. That is our public health community group on Facebook. You can ask questions. My health coaches answer your questions right in there, and you get answers basically in that health group within 24 to 48 hours, Monday through Friday. So hopefully we're able to help with that. Really appreciate your support. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll talk with you tomorrow answering more of our Cabral House Calls. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to StephenCabral.com/resources.